Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I will be sharing with you my TBR for 2026. I don't usually put together TBRs because I have a hard time sticking to it and reading the books that I put on it. So I don't do a TBR for like each month or whatever. But I do like to make one for the whole year because I think that it's fun to see like what I thought I was gonna read at the beginning of the year versus what I actually read at the beginning of the year. Like last year I only put 4 books on my TBR and I only read 2 of them, so that was kind of comical. But yeah, I have a TBR this year. For the most part, I'm excited about it. I have 9 books on this TBR. Let's just get into it. The first book is Between You and Us. I don't know how to say her last name, but her first name's Kendra. This is about a couple who experiences like a really big loss in their life, and so it kind of hinders their relationship. And on the night that this book takes place, they have a plan for date night, and when she walks into, I think it's a restaurant that they're supposed to be meeting up at, she realizes that she didn't just step into a restaurant for date night. Like, she realizes that her life is different than the one that she's been living, and so now she's faced with a choice. Does she stay continuing on in the life where there was this big loss and such a big pain in their life, and now her relationship is no longer like what they built it up to be? Or does she go on this other path where they didn't experience this loss, but things are different and there's still gonna be pain, just in a different way? I've had this book for 2 years, and just re-explaining it to you and hearing what this book is about just like reignited my interest in this book. What initially caught my interest was the cover. Like, at first glance it just looks like floral, ethereal, but then when you look closer, like, there's a face right here and there's a face right here, and I just thought that was very cool. The next book on my TBR is The Measure by Nikki Erlich. I've talked about this. How many videos did I do last? I only did 1 video last year. I talked about this in the only video that I did last year. In this book, we follow 4 or 5 characters, and on the same day, they all wake up and like go outside, you know, check their mail, get the newspaper, whatever. They're leaving to go to work, and there's a little box on their porch that has a string in it, and all the strings are different lengths. And then, you know, they go watch the news when they go back in the house, and they realize that every person on the planet got a box with a string in it. Some people chose to look in it, some people didn't. And the conclusion that they've come to is that your lifespan is determined on the length of the string that you got. And, you know, people just have to figure out what that means for them and like how they're gonna go about the rest of their life after having this knowledge. I thought that this book came out in 2024, but the thing is saying 2022. Either way, though, I got this in 2024. After I heard about it, like, I went straight to the store and bought it. And then it was on my TBR for the year last year, and I still haven't read it yet. I was gonna read it with my boyfriend. I was gonna read it with my mom. I was just gonna full send and read it by myself and like binge it in one night, and here we are. So I'm really gonna make a conscious effort to get to this book this year, because one of Nikki's other books is also on my TBR, which we'll talk about later. But like, I'm not gonna crack that one open until I get this one read. The next book on my TBR is The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender by Leslie Walton. This is young adult fantasy, I think. This is about a girl who was born with wings like a bird, hence the feather. She's just trying to navigate life and all the ups and downs, and just trying to figure out how she's gonna be able to fit in being like the only person on the planet who has bird wings. This has been on my shelf for 7 years. I remember being in high school. I was a senior in high school, and that was in 2018, 2019. And I just remember like hearing about this book from one of my favorite booktubers and just, you know, dreaming of being able to get it and being able to read it. Again, this has been on my shelf for 7 years. So I need to get this read. However, I am a little nervous because I just feel like I've grown out of like the young adult genre, and I don't really reach for young adult anymore. I don't really enjoy reading young adult anymore. It's harder for me to stay invested in the story. But like sometimes I'll read a middle grade novel and like that's like the best time ever. And so I'm trying to have that kind of openness going into a young adult novel, because I know that there are some young adult novels out there that adults enjoy, and so I'm hoping that this one is going to be one of them. I mean, it won a whole prize, so it has to be good. The next book on my list is Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. I am on a mission to just read more classic romance novels. Like, I read Pride and Prejudice for the first time last year, and I had a blast. And of course, I'm gonna start with like all of the basic ones, like the most popular ones. I found this stunning edition at an antique store. This was from 1947. Don't like the sticker that ripped off part of the cover. I don't love that. And this is really random. Like, the top is red, but this isn't red. I don't know. But like there's little illustrations, and the cover is pretty fun. I think those are trees. This is the Rainbow Classics edition. They've also done Little Women, Pride and Prejudice, Pinocchio, The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, Alice in Wonderland. Anyways, so this needs to get read. This has been on multiple of my TBRs as well as every other book on the planet. It would be nice to get this read soon. There is a kind of sexy adaptation coming out of this movie that my mom wants me to go with to see, which I don't know about that. Watching a sexy time movie with your mom, I don't know about that one. The next book on my list is Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V. Schwab. I've only read 2 of her books before. I've read Addie LaRue and I read Gallant. I didn't really care for Gallant, but I loved Addie LaRue. And when this was coming out, it was like all the rave, all the hype, and it low-key got to me because I like ran to the store on release day to buy this book, even though I didn't fully know what it was about, and I knew that it wasn't going to be a priority, but I prioritized going to buy it. This is lesbian vampires, like during different time periods, like 1532, 1827, and 2019. The next books on my TBR are Garlic and the Vampire and Garlic and the Witch. This is a middle grade duology. There isn't a third one out yet. This is about our main character, Garlic. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see her. She lives in like a really quiet town, a little garden town, and there's a disturbance. People are scared of the vampire, and for some reason, little shy Garlic is the one who's gonna go confront this vampire. It kind of reminds me of Lord of the Rings, just a little bit. Like, the most unexpected person on the planet is the one to go save the world, a dwarf from the Shire. Never would have expected that. But yeah, just a cute little middle grade graphic novel. We have the first one and we have the second one. So I guess that's 10 books on my TBR, not 9. The next book, or I should say books, is the After series by Anna Todd. I read After last year, and I got this much into After We Collided. So that's like, I'm only like 40 pages in. But after I started this, I realized that I wasn't ready for the damage that this is about to do to me. So I paused and I read something else. But I don't know why I decided that this is what I wanted to do. I just decided that I wanted to read the whole series. So then that's 14 books on my TBR, because I have to read this one, I have to read the third one, the fourth one, and then the fifth one still. You might get a couple rants out of me because the first one really did me in, and then this one is going about the same as the first one went. So, but yeah, not sure what possessed me to do this, but this is what I'm reading this year. The next book is The Poppy Fields by Nikki Ehrlich. I had mentioned this earlier. This is one that came out last year that I also immediately ran on release day to go purchase this. This book is about this like experimental hospital that's like in the middle of nowhere that people can go to if they've experienced like a great pain in their life. And like when they get to this hospital, they'll make it so that you don't feel that pain anymore. Don't know what that means, don't know what that entails, but it's like a pretty big deal around here. Like the big question is, what if there was a cure for the brokenhearted? But I felt bad like buying this immediately when it came out, when I haven't even read the other book that I've had longer. So I'm just putting this off because I'm putting the other one off. And then the last book on my TBR is We Used to Live Here. This was like the global phenomenon last year. Like everybody was reading this, everybody loved it, everybody was freaked out. I didn't hear like a single person say that they were bored of this book. And so I'm reading it. I'm like 80 pages in right now. I'm probably gonna read it later after I'm done filming this video. This is basically a horror novel about unwanted visitors. You'll hear me talk more about this when I'm done reading it. So that was my TBR for the year. I'm really excited for the most part, as I was saying earlier. It's a really good mix of like all the things that I like to read, and so there's no reason why I can't accomplish this year. There's no reason. While I was talking throughout this video, I was realizing that I would like to enter my era of not buying books unless I'm going to read it like soon, like within a week that I'm going to be buying it. Like I spend so much money on books, and it's been an issue for me like the entire time that I've liked to read for like the past 7 years, is that if I hear about a book that I want, I go buy it, but then I don't read them. Like 87% of the books that I own are unread. And like how I was saying when I was talking about Ava Lavender, was that like I bought that in 2019 and I still haven't read it yet. And I think that a lot of the books on my shelf, like The Astonishing Color of After, and let's see here, like Scythe, and probably like Strange the Dreamer, like all of these books I bought in 2019, like within the first couple years that I was interested in reading, and I haven't read them yet. But now that I'm older, I'm just nervous that I'm not going to enjoy them because I bought these when I was a kid. Like 7 years ago, I was in high school still. I'm just nervous about a lot of the books on my shelf. And so a way to kind of combat that is to just not buy a book unless I'm going to read it right now. If you are a chronic book buyer, if you are addicted to buying books and not reading them, if you are just constantly telling yourself that, yeah, you're gonna read that book, I'm here for you. I understand your pain, but we need to stop now. Just read the books on your shelves. I guarantee you have like 10 good options. That's enough to hold you over for like a month or 2 or 3. So that is all for this video. Let me know what your TBR consists of. Like, are we into the same things or do we have a different reading taste? Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon in another video. Bye.